Today we're just going to go over the upgrade install for the 20-gallon bubble magic machine. I got a lot of questions in the last couple weeks on my best advice and my technique on how I upgrade these machines. So I'm going to break it all down for you guys right here. So the first thing you're going to do is take this machine out of the box, obviously. Get it out, get it into a nice area where you can work freely on the machine. What you're going to do first is turn the machine around, and we're going to take this panel off the back here. There's 2 screws to remove the panel, and the panel comes right off. 1, 2 screws, panel comes right off. Super easy, right? Put that off to the side. That's actually going to get thrown in the trash. Don't put it back on. The reason why I like to leave those off is to allow some of the heat created by the motor to get out of the underneath the machine, because that's sitting right underneath where the material is being washed above, and you're trying to keep that cool. So any heat that's being generated below is obviously going to transfer right above to where you're trying to stay cold. So if you get some of that heat out of there, get it out of there. Point a fan, install a computer fan. A lot of guys have done that to just exhaust some of that heat out of underneath, right? Part 2, what you guys are going to do, this is what you're looking for right here, where the drain comes out of the bottom of the vessel. Right here, you're going to just slice this hose with a sharp knife. I like to use these knives, but whatever you want to use. You're just going to slice it and then remove it. Right, so that comes off of there pretty easily. And you can see they just glued that on there. And what I usually do is I'll get a little tool and try to clean off as much of this glue as possible and clean that up. Right, so that's done. All right, so next thing you're gonna want to do is put a hole in this machine. You could use any kind of bit you want. Use these spade bit, step bit, hole saw, whatever you want. Just key is to make a hole here. Okay, so you can see the hole I drilled in the front of the machine. We're all set there. Now what you want to do is get back in the inside of the back. All right, we're in the back of the machine again. Now, you need to go ahead and assemble the drain kit that comes with your purchase. So you have the elbow with the little bit of a bigger hose that'll connect to the machine. You go to the elbow, and then you go to the exit hose. This hose is long enough to get out the front of the machine. So you're going to put a hose clamp and get this hose onto the barb. And you're going to get a hose clamp on that. Right? And then you're going to get a hose clamp here as well. Just like that. Right, you'll have assembly like that, and then you're going to slide that on there, but don't tighten it yet. Alright, so then you're going to push this whole thing through, and that hose is going to go out the hole in the front that we made. Alright, once it's through the front, you're going to go ahead and pull it through and get this hose on underneath here. That's on. And then we're going to tighten up this last hose clamp here. So you'll end up with something that looks like this. All right, now that goes right out the front of the machine. You don't want to interfere with this belt here, but that's how underneath here should look once you're finished, right? And then in the front, turn this guy around. Front, now you have the hose sticking out the front. You're gonna put your valve on there. And there's a little piece to go on the front of the valve to direct you into your collection barrel. And then you're going to tighten that last hose clamp. And that's it. The drain kit's installed. Drain kit goes there. You turn this valve on and off right here to stop and start the flow of the fluid, the water with the hash in it, and go into your bags. All right, so that's the drain kit. So once you got those screws out, the top of this machine will just come right off. You don't want to yank on these wires and pull these wires. This ribbon is going to get cut right now. The only thing that this controls is the pump. Right, so it's soft, normal, and pull it all the way over here, puts the drain, it makes the drain pump go on. These two settings don't do anything. It just changes the time that the machine goes one direction and then the other direction. That's the only thing. It's not soft speed or normal speed or gentle cycle or anything. It's just a little bit less time in one direction than the other direction. We don't need the drain anymore, right? Never pump your hash. So we're just gonna cut this little ribbon and we're gonna let the lid hang. Once that ribbon is cut, it's out of the way, wires are hanging, you're gonna pull these two panels off. These panels go in the trash can, right? This stuff goes in the trash can, and then you get any trash out of there you can. Well, now what I see a lot of guys doing is adding a piece of plexiglass in here and then silicone caulk. I recommend not doing. So once you get all that stuff out of there, like I was telling you guys, I'm gonna pull this guy up a little bit. You don't want to pull it off the bottom where it's glued, but you do need to yank on it good enough to get it up here, enough to go over the top of this little tube and have enough to get the pipe clamp on. And then you're just going to put your lid back on. We've got everything installed. We got our jacket installed, our drain kit installed, our speed control is installed. And the last thing you're going to want to do is just remove this drain line. This would be the old gravity drain line that would be connected to the pump, which we're not going to be using anymore. We're just going to be coming out the straight front shot through our clean food grade silicone stainless steel setup instead of all this plastic corrugated junk. So this stuff is super easy to remove and cut off. That's all you gotta do. Now that thing's gone. All right, now this machine is upgraded and ready to rock.